So, the biggest problem in modern society with all this technology is the fact that our brain is constantly overstimulated and always in analytical and overthinking mode. If you put the average 21-year-old in a room surrounded by four walls and no stimulation, nothing whatsoever in that room for 8 hours, I think the guy's gonna go literally crazy and start like backflipping on or like scratching the walls or doing some paranormal activity shit. If you guys remember The Grudge or some crazy shit like that, this is what we call like death by a thousand cuts, and it all starts in the morning when you wake up and you scroll. And the first cut has already been made, and you scroll a bit longer, 20, 30 minutes, and you've already made 10 cuts. And these little cuts that you make on yourself every single day, obviously, what happens when you've got 1,000 cuts is you've got 1,000 places where you're going to slowly bleed out, and therefore your death is going to come much faster. But we're not talking about death, which is like totally possible. Because if you know stress is one of the biggest causes of death, we are talking about a mental death, a death of the mind, of control over your own thoughts and over your own body, of being able to decide who you want to be and what you want to do and how you want to feel. We are talking about the death of those powers and systems that you have. Unfortunately, the way we start our morning determines the rest of our day. We operate out of anxiety, out of overthinking. Let me ask you the question, man. When was the last time you let go of your phone and you consciously, literally just stood around, or sat down doing nothing? And I mean nothing, not even reading, not even listening to music, just sitting down and staring at a wall. When was the last time you sat down and stared at a wall and dared to peek in to the shadows that you've been hiding and not facing for so long? Dared to peek into the thoughts that you've been creating and hiding for so long, the emotions, the desires, the lack of things that you think you lack in the world. When have you actually faced them? And we don't face them. And instead, we always just go on our phones or we watch educational content. I was guilty of this. I used to wake up in the morning, smoke weed, and just watch Hamza content for hours and hours, overstimulating my brain, just getting absolutely fried. And, when I would go to my 9 to 5 job, which is for me, hospitality, I couldn't even hold a conversation, let alone eye contact. I would stutter my words. I would not be able to keep a conversation going or give positive energy. I would be very anxious and very reserved. And most of the times when serving customers, I wouldn't even speak to them. I would just serve them and give them what they need and let them move on. I had this agitated little energy, this negative energy that was completely in me all the time. And you know what, man? Beyond just the social and dating life, it affected my business life as well. I've been trying to do YouTube for 5 years. I started in 2021, and I have always failed. If you don't know me, my name is Thailand, and like I said, I've been doing YouTube for 5 years, and I've always failed. Failed after the other. And sure, education, information, skill, whatever, but the biggest reason why I failed is because of my mind. Because I was always overthinking, I was always judging this content, I was always like, dude, I would sit down to record a video, and because I started the day in such a wrong way, I would be staring at my screen and my thoughts would be running 1,000,000 miles per hour, and I would be only able to record maybe 2 videos, 10 minutes each, in 5 hours. And that's just ridiculous. We don't want that anymore. What is the fix in 2026? What is the fix to this overstimulation, this poison in our mind? There are a few things, but it all starts with your morning, and we need to start beginning your morning in a high frequency way. Forget everything you know about the routine so far, whether it's getting up and doing work, getting up in cold showers, getting up and doing this. Nothing really matters until you wake up and you decide exactly who you want to be and how you want to feel that day. Guys, this is very important. I need you to listen to that, because 99% of the time when you wake up, you don't decide how you're going to feel. You feel based on external factors. Based on the weather. Is it raining outside? That makes you feel sad. Is it cold outside? That makes you feel sad. How do you feel when you're waking up? Tired? That makes you feel weird. we always react. We need to stop reacting, guys. Stop reacting and start living, start being, and start creating. I know this sounds a bit woo-woo, but a few books that I do recommend to get into topics like these are these two: The Power of Now and Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Another YouTuber you can watch who explains these topics really well is Nero Knowledge on YouTube, completely for free. But guys, the biggest problems, guys our age, I'm 24 years old, I live in Sydney, Australia. The biggest problems that we face is firstly our worth. We know that we want to improve our lives and we want to get better every single day. And we face problems like questioning ourselves and whether it's going to work or not, and how much longer till we see the results of our actions. Have you ever asked yourself the question that, is it necessary to suffer while you improve yourself? I mean, let me ask you the question. You've probably been suffering while improving yourself, haven't you? I have. I've been going to the gym and doing all these positive habits, but I've been suffering mentally inside because I'm like, dude, I'm doing these habits, but I don't feel like the person. I don't feel like this is natural to me. Everything is so hard. When am I going to see these results? Why is everything so difficult? Why do I not have this zest for life? The biggest reason, guys, is dopamine. Firstly, your dopamine receptors. Dopamine is, I'm sure you know what dopamine is these days. It's essentially your will to do things, your motivation hormone kind of thing. And every time you do easy bad habits, I'm sure again you know this, your dopamine receptors get fried. The second most important thing is we are starting the day allowing our old programming to run without deciding what kind of programming we actually want to install. What do I mean by programming? Programming is simply the things that you have been doing, the behaviors that you've had, the thoughts, the belief systems, your perception, and the way you react to life over the past few years, and the results that it has created in your life. That is your programming. And if your programming is one of constant anxiety, of looking at the world in despair and gloom, and looking at yourself and not feeling self-worth and self-love and motivation and confidence to take on the world and take the piss out of life and just live life and retard max and just do whatever you want, if you feel like this is just not you, the reason is because you've been running bad programming. And that's all through your childhood and through the conditioning that you've gone through in high school and social media and through friends. We need to stop that code from running, and we need to start the morning in a high frequency way. So forget about all the other habits. The most important thing you can do right away is wake up and do nothing. Wake up, open your eyes and do nothing for 5 to 10 minutes. Just sit around. Just don't even walk. Don't even get out of bed. Wake up and just sit for 5 to 10 minutes. And just breathe and feel and just relax and be there for the moment. This is going to be so hard. It's going to be so hard. Don't go back to sleep, but just relax. Sit down and do nothing. And just allow your mind to just recalibrate for a second. Now, after that, we need to get you into creative mode and out of survival mode, out of agitation. Because again, you've been running agitation programs and codes and softwares for almost your entire life. I've been doing that for my entire life. As soon as I wake up, I go on my phone and I start chewing my nails because of that's the code that I've been running. And it's terrible. So wake up, spend 10, 15 minutes just doing absolutely nothing. Maybe get some water, but that's about it. Go take a piss if you need to, but do nothing. And then what I recommend you to do is actually go outside and get into sunlight. That could be your balcony, sitting at your balcony and getting sunlight. That could be your backyard, your front yard. It could be the nearest park that you have. I do recommend you go and walk maybe 5-10 minutes to a close park or a park bench, somewhere where you can sit down outside in nature, away from kind of distractions. If you're in the city, this might not work so well. You might need to get some headphones if it's loud and put on some meditation music or frequency music. But go somewhere where ideally you're outdoors and not in four walls with stale air and no airflow. You want to be in nice airflow. It just makes you feel more connected and more aligned to nature and therefore more relaxed. And that's what we need. We need to get into a state of relaxation. Why? Because you're not relaxed. Every day you are stressed, minor stress, 1,000 cuts. Again, you're just stressed all the time. And these mini stresses just, they create this personality of agitation. I mean, guys, I don't need to say anything, but like, I'm sure your dating life hasn't been that great, has it? Because of these minor agitations, because you're not able to hold conversations or go out in public, or, when it comes to even feeling good day in and day out and not self-sabotaging and going back on your word and feeling like you are the man that's worthy of self-improving and living a good life. Mate, it all comes from those negative self-beliefs. So go outside and get into relaxation under the sun. Start breathing, start relaxing, do some breath work, okay? Get into that relaxation, very important. And then what I need you to do in order to raise your frequency is, in your mind, when you're in a relaxed state, start to visualize who you want to be and decide to be that person. Okay, so you might close your eyes and you might think, you know what? For the past few days, I've been this, unmotivated guy. I haven't gone to the gym and I haven't really talked to anyone in the gym. I want to be the motivated, healthy, happy, and positive guy today. And picture in your mind a movie scene where you are this person. You might picture yourself going to the gym, finishing a workout where you feel incredible and you've just hit the PR and you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you look absolutely shredded, and the guys and girls are complimenting you and you're complimenting them back, and you're giving them high fives and a fist bump, and you're like, hell yeah, bro, keep it up, and put yourself into that image and decide that this is who you want to be. Now, what will happen as you're meditating on this image, this visualization, is emotions will start to come up, positive emotions. And I need you to focus on those emotions and intensify them. Fucking make them so intense and so real that you believe it and you feel that right now. That's what you need to do. And start your morning in that way. Once you finish this, then what I recommend you to do is do some movements. So you can just do some stretching around, maybe do a bit of yoga, maybe pull up a few push-ups, whatever it is, do a bit of stretching, because this is going to open up your body and it's going to release physical stress, not just mental stress, but physical stress, inflammation, pain, tight fascia, locked fascia. These all things, again, cause stress, and they cause your attention to go towards that, where your attention should be in yourself. Okay, very important. So what I would do is I'll do a bit of yoga. I'll stretch around just like this, right? I might do a few fascia exercises, just moving my hands around like that, whatever, just doing this a little bit and engaging my muscles and my fascia and releasing and loosening myself so I feel physically relaxed. That's the way, boys, I start my morning. And then usually I'll go in the sunlight, I'll go for a walk, grab some coffee, I'll drink it, maybe I'll journal a little bit, I'll sit around a bit, but then I usually come home around 11 o'clock. So I wake up at 8 a.m., I'll come back home at around 11 o'clock. After, if I've gone to the gym as well, I recommend you do the meditation first and then you go to the gym. So you'll finish everything. I'll come back 11 o'clock. I'll hydrate. I'll take a shower. I'll clean up. I'll do my self-care. And then I'll sit around for a few minutes until 12 o'clock. And at 12 o'clock, I'll start my work session, which is where I record videos for you guys. I coach you guys. I jump on the community. I'll help you boys out. Boys, if you've been watching this video and you're like, man, I resonate with this guy. I like what he's talking about. I think, being not overstimulated and in control of our nervous system and the way we react and how we want to feel. I think that being relaxed and living a slow, authentic life is really important. If you resonate with these, go to the link in the description. I've got my community in there and you can join that. I think it's going to be really helpful for you. But if you need one-to-one help as well, I can definitely help you with that. Again, go to the links, comments, whatever it is, and we can work one-to-one, and I'll help you essentially double your social dating life. I'll help you get back that natural magnetism, make you feeling good, and we'll build that lifestyle where you are that naturally social guy who just meets people randomly and just talks to everybody. So that's my goal with this channel. Most specifically with this channel, I want to help younger guys, 20, 25-year-old guys, 29-year-old guys, really just become outliers in society, building their physique, building their health, building up their mind, their belief systems, their perception and mindset on the world, living a retarded and healthy life. Honestly, just retard maxing, a group of retard maxers. I think that's really important. So if you think that's important as well, man, subscribe, like the channel, whatever. And I think you're going to find it very valuable. But yeah, retard max, boys. That's going to be very important. So I'll come back 12 o'clock. I'll work till 4 p.m. And then at 4 p.m., I'll relax. I'll go for an afternoon walk, catch the sunset, come back home, eat. And then the rest of the night, I'll have free time. That's my routine for now. I'm not too obsessed about the actions. I'm more obsessed about becoming in tune with my own authentic self and my higher frequency and my ideal self. So during my free time, what I'll do is I'll read books and I'll meditate more, and I'll keep visualizing. I'll keep going over my goals. I'll make myself, and by the way, I don't do this out of desperation, boys. That's very important. Don't do this out of desperation. Do this like you already feel like you are that person, or you are already living that dream life right now. And again, the only way for that to happen is as you're visualizing these, when those emotions, those positive emotions of your desired self come up, intensify them and focus on them and feel them now. If you need help and guidance with that on one-to-one, per month, per week, whatever, again, one-to-one coaching is available. Go and join that. Otherwise, join the community. I think, again, like I said, I'm building a community of like-minded boys, 21 to 29 years old, and hopefully you'll find a few friends there who are all into this kind of stuff as well. So much love, boys, and I'll see you next time. It's been a pleasure.